terrible puns. Today we are going to be talking about the Snyder Cut of Justice League. So if you haven't seen it, I'm going to say spoiler warning, but that's only because it's such a different movie than the movie that we got 4 years ago. So I'm excited to talk about it. I think I've got some good things to say, maybe a couple negatives, but for the most part, I pretty much enjoyed it. But I want to start with the rest of you guys.
I think so far, definitely character development was a big thing for me, but not just in general. I think the focus and development on the correct characters. Because when you think of DC and Justice League, especially up to that point, it's been the Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman show. And I think taking the time to develop Flash, especially for those who hadn't seen the show, taking the time to develop Cyborg, which ended up having a huge part in the plot, and taking the time to develop even like how they came together was really important. So it doesn't feel so forced. That I think is a big win. And
well, after that, I can't imagine any of us have anything negative to say about the Snyder Cut, but I feel like Derek probably does. So.
Wow. All right, I'll start. Brian, do you want to start?
Oh, Derek. Brian's going to start. I was going to say,
Brian,
Derek
DC fan. Go.
Derek is the Thanos of Shattered Studio. I mean, it's perfect balance. That's what
I just snapped my fingers in half. Half good, half bad.
Right.
Wow.
All of our reviews, they got to be perfectly balanced. All right, Brian, go ahead.
I don't remember if we were actually starting, but I know John had mentioned the slow-mo. I like the slow-mo, but once you mention it, like, it does add an extra 20 minutes. So, like,
it's a significant amount of time. Yeah.
It could have been a little less, but that saying, I still do like it.
Yeah.
And then there were some weird moments, like when Aquaman goes into the water and, like, the weird lady starts singing and the girl picks up her spirit. Like, what is this?
I forgot about that.
What is
was
this?
really early on in the movie. Oh,
Why
man.
is this there?
Yeah, and they were all just like singing, and there were no English subtitles.
Like, no one knows what they're saying unless you happen to speak that
It lasted
language.
like 3 minutes.
And the lady sniffs his sweater. I mean, I know it's Jason Momoa. I get it, girls. I get it. Like,
So
seriously.
Yeah. I'm sure there's someone watching right now who is like, that was a beautiful scene.
That was my favorite part.
Oh, man. Leaps and bounds, regardless of how we feel about the movie or how we can nitpick certain things, it was leaps and bounds better than the theatrical release in 2017. We all agree. Most people agree on the internet, and that's impressive. That is hard to accomplish, to get a lot of people on the internet to agree. But it begs the question, why then was the theatrical release so bad? And we were talking about it, and I think the general consensus is you had the studio wanting one thing and demanding it. You had Zack Snyder wanting one thing and demanding it. And then we talked about the tragedy in his personal life. And so there's a lot of things that kind of happened all at once that made it difficult for this movie to really come together cohesively. And ultimately it was a bunch of people not willing to come to the table and sit down and listen to each other and compromise. And that is just something that we can encounter in our own life. The moments when, you know, we're dealing with something we haven't ever dealt with before, and we try and just do it ourselves. We try to own it ourselves and not seek wisdom from people who have knowledge. People who might know better or can at least speak into our lives is really valuable. And